My mother was born in 1919. I'm not too good at math in my head, but from 1879, that's 20, my grandmother would have been about 39 years old when my mother was born in 1919. People had big families back then, I guess, especially in the South. I don't know, they may have had big families across the country, but they had big families. And my mother's family was no exception. They had, mother had 4 sisters and 3 brothers from the time that my grandparents married until they quit having children. I think my mother was about in the middle there as far as the girl children, as far as age. She had, I think, a couple older and a couple younger. One older, let me get it straight, a couple older, a couple younger. That would have made how many? 5 girls and 3 boys for a total of 8. So that's where she fell in the family. And I have a photograph. I'm not going to hold it up and show you, but I'll put it up on the screen here that'll show her family. After my mother, and it's the only photograph I have of that time, that shows her when she was probably about 14 years old. And you'll see, in the photograph, you'll see my grandmother, Alice, my grandfather, Jefferson, called him Jeff. You'll see my mother, she's standing to the left side of her mother, is my mother. And I won't describe the positions of the other people, but the rest of the family is my mother's older sister, Gladys, her older sister, Ruby Bell. These names, I love the names that they named children back then. She had a younger sister there named Neloise, and the youngest sister named Lucille. Her brother shown in the picture, her older brother named Howard, who turned out to be a barber. I could tell you stories about Howard too, and I might mention it before this video's over. He was an unusual character, turned out to be a barber. The other younger brother, Leon Paul, I got part of my name from him. My name is Paul Richard Leon Paul Jones, and then Boyd was the other brother. You may hear a dog barking outside. I'm back out in my barn area, and there's a dog peeing down below. I don't know if you can hear it or not. You probably will. Anyway, that was family. My grandfather, Jefferson, was also born and raised down in the Powder Springs area. I don't know for what reason they decided to move north and east up into the northeastern corner of Alabama, but that's where they lived when this picture was made. It was made at a place called Fern Cliff, and it's out on, we have a plateau here south of town called Sand Mountain that rises up above the Tennessee River by 700 or 800 feet, and up it has some bluff cliff areas, and there was a resort out there at that time called Fern Cliff, and I think this photograph was taken there at Fern Cliff. I have some other ones. I don't know if I'll show them. That shows some family reunions and things like that they were having back in those days. And I do have one taken later on and I'll show it when I was about, I guess, maybe 10 years old. It shows me and my mother and my brother. My brother would have been about maybe 15. And it's taken by an old house. And this old house is where my grandmother lived up in her older years when she died. And remember, it said that she was born right after the Civil War. Times were bad here after the Civil War. Times were bad when this photograph I showed you of their family, that would have been about 1930, the time of our great economic depression in this country. And times got terrible here in the South. It got terrible across the whole country. They got terrible here in the South also. I don't know if we really recovered from the Civil War up to the 1930 recessions, because things were bad, especially for country people that lived out in the rural areas. My mother, and again here you have to include other members of the family when you're telling about one member of the family, like a grandparent.